We're going to do pork with fennel and pickled red peppers. This is a very traditional dish, especially around December and January when they get together to kill the pig. This is one of the dishes that they normally use or have at that time of year. So what we're going to do is we've got this belly of pork. I'm going to first take off the rind. Over there. Then I'm going to take off the spare ribs. I'm going to leave a little bit of meat on my spare ribs, purely and simply because I'm going to use them for something else a little bit later on. Okay. You can use neck end of pork for this. What you need is something with a little bit of fat. Just cutting it into strips. This is the same mix that they would use to make sausages in the village. They don't have mincers when they make sausages. In my family, they say that the mincer has never been done before in the old days, and they'd sooner cut it by hand. So they would cut it into smaller chunks than this, but obviously for this dish I need it to be that little bit bigger. There you go. You've got your diced belly of pork there. What we're going to do, first of all, we're going to put some fair amount of salt. We're going to put some wild fennel. Beautiful. One of my favourite herbs, seasonings. Some fresh chilli. They would normally use chilli powder when making sausages, but we're going to use fresh chilli for this. And we're going to use some ground black pepper. What you would normally do if you were doing this dish, you would add all the seasonings and you would let it rest overnight in the fridge just for it to take in and marinate all those ingredients, especially with the fennel. When the fennel gets into that meat and you start cooking it, boy, you know all about it. Okay, that's done. Okay, put it in here. And what we're going to do now is go to the stove and start cooking. Okay. What we need is some bay leaf, the pickled red peppers, white wine, olive oil. Again, put a nice bit of olive oil in the wok. Obviously, the wok is Chinese. I'm Italian. In the village, they would be using a large frying pan. They wouldn't use a wok. Now, going to put the pork in the wok. We're going to use some bay leaf. We're going to just tear that so it releases some of the flavours. And we're going to start turning that in. So that gets nice and coloured. As a side dish, they would normally have this with cannellini beans, garlic and olive oil, lots of crusty bread, and a nice glass of red wine. Now going to add half a glass of white wine. Waste not, want not. Wait for the meat to take in the juices. Yeah, just right. You can see now that most of the fluid has been taken back in with the white wine. Now we can start adding the pickled peppers. These peppers were done by people in my family in the summer months when they were making wine, because the peppers were coming towards the end of their season. The wine was being made, and they would store this in vinegar. Just put the raw peppers in vinegar, and they would use the pressings from the grapes to keep the peppers until they were ready to use them in the winter months. They also used to use a drying method where the peppers, they'd lie the peppers in the sun on racks, and they would have dried peppers, very nice dried peppers, quite expensive. These peppers give a nice bite to a pork dish. Lovely. Very nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Ah, a marriage made in heaven. Salute.